Your expensive synthetic stone countertop has a built-in weakness that the industry rarely talks about, and it is not a defect. It is the material itself. While resin-bonded slabs develop irreparable cracks from a single hot pan, solid wood countertops absorb the impact, recover, and can be restored with nothing more than sandpaper and oil. Today, I am breaking down 10 reasons why solid hardwood may be the smartest countertop investment you can make, especially if you are building a kitchen meant to last decades rather than follow a trend cycle. Most people live for years with a countertop that is quietly failing without knowing why. Once you understand the material science behind what is on your counter, you cannot unsee it. You will thank me later, so subscribe and stay until the end. Let us get into it.
Number 10. Quartz resin begins breaking down at just 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Wood does not. Engineered quartz is roughly 90 to 95% natural quartz crystals, which can handle temperatures above 1000 degrees. The problem is the 5 to 10% polymer resin that holds it all together. According to Granite Selection and multiple fabricators, that resin begins to soften at around 300 degrees and starts to discolor or burn between 350 and 400 degrees. A pot straight off a gas burner reaches 500 to 700 degrees on the bottom. A crock pot reaches internal temperatures of 185 to 209 degrees according to the manufacturer, and the heating element at the base can run hotter than the food itself over hours of sustained contact with your countertop. Even a baking sheet at 400 degrees can damage the resin if left in one spot for more than a few seconds. The damage shows up as white clouding, yellow or brown discoloration, or in severe cases, hairline thermal cracks. Solid hardwood handles this situation completely differently. Wood is a natural insulator. It does not conduct heat the way stone does, which means a hot pan does not cause thermal shock or structural failure. It may leave a surface mark, but that mark sands out in minutes with fine grit sandpaper and a fresh coat of food-safe mineral oil. The surface is genuinely renewed, not patched or masked. That is the fundamental difference. One material fails permanently under kitchen heat, the other absorbs it and recovers. The honest other side, if you consistently use trivets and hot pads, quartz performs beautifully for daily use. And wood does require that regular oiling to maintain its heat and moisture resistance. Neither material is maintenance-free, but only one of them is damage-free when maintenance is missed. Number 9. Heat damage on synthetic stone is classified as misuse. Here is something most homeowners do not discover until it is too late. According to countertop fabricator Granite Guy Inc., who has installed over 10,000 countertops since 1995, most quartz manufacturer warranties do not cover heat damage. It is classified as misuse. That means if you set a hot pan down without a trivet and it leaves a permanent scorch mark, you are paying for the repair or replacement out of pocket. The warranty that gave you confidence when you bought the countertop does not apply to the most common way countertops get damaged in a real kitchen. Solid wood, by contrast, has no such vulnerability. You can set a hot cast iron pan directly on a properly maintained hardwood surface. It may leave a mark, but that mark sands out in minutes. There is no warranty exclusion because there is no damage that cannot be undone. The honest caveat: wood does require regular oiling to maintain its heat and water resistance, so it is not maintenance-free. But it is damage-free in a way that synthetic stone simply is not. Number 8. A single impact can cause irreparable structural failure in synthetic stone. Engineered quartz is hard on the surface but brittle under impact. According to the Marble Guide, when a heavy cast iron pan falls onto a quartz edge or corner, the resulting crack can penetrate through multiple layers. Surface repairs with epoxy may temporarily mask the problem, but the underlying structural damage remains permanent. Slabwise confirms that quartz slabs weigh 20 to 25 pounds per square foot, and a standard kitchen countertop weighs 300 to 500 pounds total. That mass means the slab cannot flex under impact the way a more forgiving material can. Solid hardwood absorbs impact through its natural fiber structure. A dropped pan will dent the wood, but the fibers compress rather than fracture, and that dent can be steamed out with a damp cloth and an iron, or sanded smooth during routine maintenance. The honest note: wood is softer than stone and will show knife marks and dents more readily in daily use. If visible perfection matters to you more than repairability, that is a legitimate reason to choose differently. Number 7. Synthetic stone repairs are expensive and often visible. When quartz does crack or chip, professional repair involves color-matched resin injection, controlled sanding through multiple grits up to 3,000, and careful polishing. According to All American Granite in Minnesota, small chips near edges respond well to repair, but larger cracks exceeding 6 inches, particularly near sinks or cooktops, typically require cutting out the damaged section and installing a new piece of quartz. The primary challenge is matching the color, pattern, and particulate distribution of the existing slab, which is often impossible because production runs vary. The cost of professional quartz repair starts at several $100s and can run over $1,000 for section replacement. Wood countertop repair, by comparison, requires sandpaper, food-safe mineral oil, and 10 minutes of your time. No professional needed, no color matching, no production run to track down. The surface renews itself every time you sand and oil it. That is the fundamental difference between a material designed around replacement and one designed around restoration. Number 6. Wood has natural antimicrobial properties that synthetic surfaces do not. This surprises most people. A peer-reviewed study published in Hygiene and Environmental Health Research, available through Science Direct, confirms that certain wood species possess natural antimicrobial properties that inhibit bacterial growth on the surface. Research cited by the Danish Technological Institute found that bacteria have a lower survival rate on wooden surfaces compared to plastic ones. The porous structure of wood allows bacteria to be absorbed into the grain, where they die due to lack of nutrients and the action of natural antimicrobial compounds like tannins and lignin. Hardwoods such as oak, maple, and walnut show the strongest antibacterial effectiveness. The honest qualification: this does not mean wood is self-sanitizing. You still need to clean your countertops after food preparation, but it does mean that the common assumption that synthetic non-porous surfaces are inherently more hygienic than wood is not supported by the science. Wood cleaned with warm soapy water performs as well or better than many non-porous alternatives in bacterial reduction. Number 5. Wood is one of very few countertop materials you can fully refinish at home. This is one of the most important practical advantages of solid wood. Solid surface materials like corian can also be sanded and refinished, which is a real advantage they share with wood. But wood goes further. When a wood countertop shows years of wear, stains, knife marks, or water damage, you sand it down, apply food-safe mineral oil or a hard wax finish, and the surface is genuinely new again. Not repaired, not patched, new. You can do this yourself in an afternoon with a random orbital sander and a can of oil. No color matching, no production batch to track down. Julia Mack of Julia Mack Design confirms that clear hard maple end grain is the premium choice for durability and can serve as both countertop and cutting surface with proper maintenance. With care, a quality hardwood countertop can be sanded and refinished multiple times over its lifespan, extending its useful life to 60 years or more according to How to Look at a House, a home inspection resource. The honest trade-off: this refinishing capability exists because wood is softer and more susceptible to surface damage than stone. You are trading scratch resistance for renewable longevity. That is a trade-off worth understanding clearly. Number 4. The environmental cost of replacing synthetic stone is enormous. When a quartz countertop cracks beyond repair, the entire slab typically ends up in a landfill. While some specialized facilities can crush and repurpose engineered stone, practical recycling options remain extremely limited for most homeowners. A standard kitchen countertop at 300 to 500 pounds of engineered stone becomes, in most cases, permanent waste. Wood countertops that reach the end of their long life can be repurposed, recycled, composted, or burned for fuel. And in most cases, they never need to reach the end of their life at all because they can be refinished indefinitely. If sustainability and long-term environmental impact matter to you, the math strongly favors wood. The honest other side: wood countertops require sustainably sourced hardwood, and not all wood is harvested responsibly. Look for FSC, certified lumber or reclaimed wood, to ensure your countertop is not contributing to deforestation. Several states, California in particular, have increasingly strict environmental standards for building materials, so sourcing responsibly is not just ethical, but practical. The environmental advantage only holds if the wood itself comes from a responsible source. Number 3. Wood absorbs sound, heat, and vibration in ways stone can't. This is something you feel rather than see, and it matters more than most people realize. A kitchen with stone countertops reflects sound, plates clinking, pots landing, conversations bouncing off hard surfaces. It creates an acoustic environment that can feel harsh, especially in open concept layouts. Wood absorbs sound. It dampens the noise of daily kitchen life and creates a warmer, quieter atmosphere. Wood also does not conduct cold the way stone does. If you live in New York, Illinois, Michigan, Pennsylvania, or anywhere with long winters, you know that a stone countertop feels cold to the touch for months at a time. Wood feels neutral, closer to room temperature year-round, and when you set a glass or a plate down on wood, there is no hard clank. There is a soft, muted contact that simply feels more comfortable. The honest caveat: this acoustic warmth comes at the cost of hardness. Stone is more resistant to scratches and does not require the regular maintenance that wood demands. If you value a surface you never have to think about, stone has a real advantage there. Number 2. The right wood species can last 60 years or more. Not all wood countertops are created equal, and species selection is critical to long-term performance. Dense hardwoods like hard maple, white oak, walnut, and cherry resist wear significantly better than softer woods. End-grain construction, where the wood fibers point upward, is the most durable configuration because it absorbs impact and closes around knife cuts naturally. According to home inspection resource How to Look at a House, a solid wood countertop with normal care and no direct cutting can last 60 years or more. Even in commercial restaurant kitchens with heavy daily use, the wood cutting board store reports lifespans of 10 to 20 years with periodic refinishing, and those kitchens work their surfaces harder in a single week than most home kitchens do in a year. For a home kitchen, choosing a 3-inch thick end-grain maple or white oak countertop and maintaining it with monthly oiling gives you a surface that will genuinely outlast most of the synthetic alternatives on the market today. The honest consideration: wood expands and contracts with humidity, typically about 1/8 of an inch seasonally. If you live in a high humidity climate like Florida, Georgia, or the Gulf Coast, this movement can be more pronounced, and your installer must account for it with proper expansion gaps. In drier climates like Arizona or parts of Texas, the opposite risk applies. Wood can shrink and crack if indoor humidity drops too low, so a kitchen humidifier may be worth considering. Proper installation is not optional with wood, and climate-aware installation is what separates a countertop that lasts decades from one that develops problems in the first year. Number 1. Wood is one of the very few countertops that genuinely gets better with age. Most countertop materials on the market move in only one direction over time. Quartz resin yellows under UV exposure and breaks down with repeated heat. Laminate peels, porcelain can chip at the edges. Sintered stone is vulnerable to impact fractures. Natural stones like granite and soapstone are exceptions that can last for generations, but even they cannot be fully renewed the way wood can. Wood moves in the opposite direction. With each oiling, the grain deepens. With each year of use, the patina develops. The surface tells the story of the meals you have cooked, the holidays you have hosted, the mornings you have spent with coffee at the counter. And when the accumulation of years begins to show, you sand it smooth, and the story starts again on a fresh surface. No other material offers that combination of full renewal and deepening character. Soapstone develops a beautiful patina over time, and granite can last for generations, but neither of them can be sanded back to a completely fresh surface the way wood can. Designer Julia Mack confirms that solid wood adds the luxury of natural warmth to kitchen interiors and is no longer limited to rustic styles. Modern kitchens with clean lines and warm minimalist aesthetics are embracing wood countertops precisely because they age with character rather than decline with wear. The honest final word: wood is not for everyone. It requires regular maintenance. It is vulnerable to standing water near sinks. It will show every knife mark if you cut directly on it. But if you are willing to care for it, and many of the best cooks in the world have been willing for centuries, wood gives back more than any other surface material. It is the only countertop that rewards the relationship. The kitchen industry has spent decades convincing us that synthetic materials are superior because they are harder, shinier, and require less maintenance. But harder does not mean more durable when hard means brittle. Shinier does not mean better when the shine hides a resin that fails at 300 degrees. And low maintenance does not mean long-lasting when the material cannot be repaired once it fails. Solid wood asks more of you. It asks for oil once a month and a light sanding every few years. In return, it gives you a surface that absorbs impact instead of cracking, kills bacteria naturally, feels warm under your hands, sounds quiet under your plates, and can be made completely new again whenever you choose. That is not a compromise. That is a partnership with a material that was built to last. If you enjoyed this video, we have another one right here that you are going to love. Thank you so much for watching.